All right, y'all, we are on that fourth and final step. I hope and pray that you are ready to get this thing done. So let's just jump right into it. So now, once all of the other parts are done, um, there's a couple steps we're going to go. This one that is going to look like we're moving backwards, but I need you to understand why we are doing that. Okay. I just want to stress that for you. So we're going to get ready to publish. So as we get everything on KDP and I show you what that process looks like, I want you to take in mind that we are going to go back to that Canva doc or that Word doc to implement and update some things depending on what you chose. Okay. So in this one, we're going to create your KDP account. We're going to input your book's details. We're going to update your ISBN and your manuscript. We're going to download your manuscript. This is if you're using Canva. There's a specific way that it needs to be saved. And so I want to show that to you in this one. We're going to create your book cover using Amazon's cover creator. If you did it in a different section, you invested in a cover creator, good for you. You won't necessarily need to worry about that. Upload files. That's if you've got a manuscript and book cover that you used somewhere else. And then we're going to publish your story, baby. So just leading right into things. First things first is going to KDP's website. So it's kdp.amazon.com. You're going to be greeted with something like this. It's going to give you the option to sign in if you're a client. If not, you're going to just click on join KDP. Typically, if you have an Amazon account already, this will be pretty simple. We just put all this information in and it's just gonna fly on to the next thing, okay? Once you are in the KDP account, keep in mind yours is not gonna look like mine, okay? It's not gonna have the other books there like mine does. So what you're gonna do is once that's created, we're gonna go in and we're going to create, so that way you can add your new title or book series, okay? It's going to ask you, what would you like to create? Remember, we are only focusing on paperback. So we're going to create a paperback. And this is where we start inputting all of the details. Remember, this is where you're going to pull out that thing that I had you do. I had you do that for a reason and with intentionality. So you're going to pull out that book creation strategy and you're going to put it here. Tell me what's your book title. Tell me what's the subtitle. Give me your authors, your contributors. Give me that back cover synopsis. Tell me, do you have the publishing rights, right? So are you using public domain? Public domain is like, there's a lot of books out there that are like old folk tales, for example, like that you can just continue to use until the end of time. And that's like if you remade or redid one of those is where that would be. But because all of this content should either be yours or something that you created, we're just going to go ahead and put that you own the copyright and necessary publishing rights. It's going to ask you about any sexually explicit images or titles. You're going to fill that in there because it's going to, decide what categories that you're able to choose from. You're going to choose your primary marketplace. And then you're going to choose your categories. That's really important because this, like I said, is a numbers game long term. So it is really important to get that information. You're going to input your keywords here. And then you're going to update and put what your publication date is, what your release date is, whether you're wanting to schedule that release or not. Okay. So it's really important to make sure that this is right. So there's certain things that once you do, there is no fixing it. Once your book title here, baby, that is your book. Okay. So make sure that when you do this, before you proceed to step 2, that this is exactly how you want it done. Okay. And then when you're working on your contributors, that first contributor needs to be absolutely positively correct. Because if it's not, can't change it. I'm just going to put it as bluntly as possible. You're not going to be able to change it. If it's incorrect, the only thing you'll be able to do is to really just start all the way over. And who wants to necessarily deal with that, right? So that is something else that you're able to go ahead and do. So just be mindful with that when you're editing and you're putting this in here, make sure that it is right. Now your description, you can go in and change later. if you need to, but that top stuff, you're not going to be able to. So make sure you get it right the first time. And then I want to come back over here and show you, because I'm not inputting a book with you. So when we go on and you move on to step 2, I'm actually going into one of my other published books already. So once you've done all of the information on step 1, we're going to come over here and we're going to go to step 2. And so at step 2, this is where your ISBN is important. Okay. If you already purchased an ISBN, good for you. You'll want to make sure that you put that in your correct page. Remember, on your copyright page, you want to make sure that that is there. So you'll notice the same ISBN that I have listed in Amazon is what's here. If you're noticing like, hey, I'm going to actually have to pay for this, right? And you decide that you're going to pay, you're going to get just Amazon's free. That's okay. That's how I started. You know, it is what it is. That's fine. Do what you do. Just make sure to take manuscripts with that, and with the ISBN is in there. If it's not in there, as soon as you try to upload that file, KDP is going to be like, you're missing your ISBN on that copyright page. So just make sure, no matter what you do, if you decide, hey, I want to get a free ISBN, once it assigns it to you, you go right back to your manuscript, no matter how you did it, and you put that ISBN in there. Okay. This is where those print options came into place. Tell us what paper you're going with. Okay. And then say, if you're having any bleed settings, so this is going to depend on how you did what you did, right? So if you did this in Canva, this is the only area where this is going to be different. If you did this in Canva with me, kind of walking you through how to do that, you're going to go bleed PDF only. Okay. That means you're telling the system it's perfect as it is. I looked through it. I've considered my bleed options. We're going with the bleed. If you did this using one of the PDFs that I gave you, you can say no bleed, or you can still save that as a PDF and still upload it, either one. But it is just really important that if you did it on Canva, I just find that it's just, you've already factored in your bleed. So just put PDF only. And then your cover finish, you're going to tell them what cover you're using. Okay. Once you've got your ISBN, you've put it in your manuscript, right? You came back to your manuscript, you put that ISBN. If you are using, you know, one of the free options or whatever the case may be, that you've put that in there. Now, once this part is completed, right? If we're doing this in Canva, now you have what's necessary to go in and save. This is where I told you it's going to be a little bit different. Okay. What you're going to do is to download this. You're going to come over here to download. Now, mine has 200 pages. Okay. And so I'm sharing this because let's say you do a journal and it's a lot of pages. Canva may be a pain in the butt to download and save. That's fine. That's okay. It is what it is. I'm going to show you how you're able to go around that and do that. If you're under 100 pages or, you know, something to that effect, you may not experience, or you may not have a ton of things, but if you have a lot of content, a lot of pictures, sometimes that's just a lot to download, and you'll notice that you'll get some pushback from Canva. It may not download it. It may give you errors. So I'm just trying to empower you so that if they do come along, you're not bothered by what you see. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to download that. You're going to switch this to a PDF print. Okay. Once this is set for PDF print, there are 2 important things I want you to do. You're going to flatten that PDF. Okay. You're going to come to this drop down and you're going to select CMYK. This is best for professional printing. Long story short, professional printers, the way that these things translate the color is just a little bit different. If you do not select this and you make your entire book your brand's colors, a couple things going to happen. It's going to frustrate you because you're going to get a book and you're going to be like, this is not my color. These are not the colors I selected. And that's because you've missed this very crucial step. And then you may notice it may give you some kickback. It may tell you something about your color as well. So just make sure you do PDF print and this one, and you're going to download that. Okay. If you have a lot of pages like mine, to just download, I did 50 pages at a time, and then use a different service. Like Adobe allows you to add PDFs. There are some free programs out there. I don't want to list any of them here because they always change their stuff from time to time. And so I don't want y'all to say, well, I paid for this and you gave me that information. No, ma'am, no, sir. Definitely do your research. There are some free programs that will combine those PDFs. Biggest thing is just look through it, make sure that it is all accurate before uploading those files. Okay. Now that you've saved that file, you're going to go up here and you're going to upload your paperback manuscript. Okay. Over here, this is where we're getting to our book cover. So if you didn't invest in a book cover, that's fine. I told you we were going to worry about that here. So you can come right here and launch their cover creator. Okay. And it's pretty much going to walk you through the creation of a brand new cover. I would open it for you and show you all that good stuff, but you know, it's neither here nor there. Another thing to consider here while you're doing this, the reason I'm not going to, long story short, I'm not a designer. It's not what I do. It's just not what I do. So I could open it up, but what do you want me to show you? That's not what I do. I stay in my lane. Writing, delegating, editing, maybe I stay in my lane. Okay. But you can use that cover creator to fully do that. Otherwise, and I want to highlight this right here. If you get in there, because when I say there's some ugly stuff in there, there is some ugly stuff in there. If you get in there, you go, who's going to use this? Download a template and then move it over to Canva and create your own. Make sure you follow the specifications that are there and use your own. Okay, create your own. So this is where I want to talk about the custom barcode option. If you did not invest in a custom barcode, we didn't spend a lot of time talking about this. Remember, I briefly touched it, I think, in step 1. And the only reason I briefly touched it is because I wanted you guys to be aware of some things. But most people, when they're self-publishing, if they're not ever going with goals in actually having their stuff in an actual bookstore, you don't necessarily need to invest in a custom book cover or custom barcode. So KDP will give you one for you as long as this box is unchecked. So if you leave this box unchecked, they'll add the barcode for you. Okay. This section here is going to ask you if you had any AI generated content. Okay. And then that's up for you to tell them whether or not you used it or not. Okay. And then this is going to be your previewer. And this, I want to pull it up just so that you guys can actually see and anticipate what to expect when it is done. So it's going to show you your print, right? And this is why when we use the bleed options, it was important because bleed is considering everything outside of this red and white area. So it's showing you this is what it's going to look like. Okay. This right here, this quality check section, this is what I'm telling you. If your ISBN was wrong, you would see a checkbox right here that's like, you need to go back. There's some stuff you need to fix. What I really love about this is sometimes good at picking some errors. So it'll pick up a word. This word on page 97 is misspelled. So it's actually pretty good. It doesn't catch everything, but I'm telling you that so that you know. And then this gives you the idea of what that's going to look like. See how I talked about in the beginning? When you first open your book, you've got that half title page, blank, full title page, copyright page, right? Dedication page. Just because of how much was in here, most people, it's blank after that dedication. I didn't do that. We just jumped straight into the training material of what this particular author wanted for her book. Okay, but it allows you to pretty much just go through here and see your book in its entirety. As you can see, because we did this in Canva, it just gives you an idea of what that's going to look like. Okay, I'm just briefly kind of going through here and showing you guys this so that way you're empowered to just kind of see some of the options you have when you are creating this, your book. So those are different options and different templates and different things that you're able to do. Once you're satisfied with all of this, you can either download a PDF proof if that is something you're wanting, or you can just simply approve it. And then that lets them know that you're happy with the details of everything that's inside of that. Okay. So we approve that, and then we're going to save and continue. And see, oh, I forgot to tell you, it's going to show you right down here what your cost per book, what your print is. Okay. So that's very important because it's going to help you with determining what your price is that you're going to charge. So when you're done with all of that, you'll see that was what, quarter or something to that effect. So you're wanting to make sure that if this is profitable for you, if you're paying almost $4.50 to print this book, you want to make sure that it's profitable. So you're going to go in here and you're going to play in some numbers. Okay. I like to move books over here. You'll notice I don't use the expanded distribution. That's because I distribute in different places. And that's why knowing your goals is important. Okay. Because certain distributors, certain bookstores don't use KDP's expanded distribution. So if you hit expanded distribution, you're not going to show up in their list anyway. And so there's, to just keep myself safe, if you will, I don't use them for expanded distribution. But if they are the only ones that you are using, that's your only option if you want to be able to put yourself into other spaces and places. So just take that into consideration. So usually once you put in one price here, Amazon will go in and kind of give you relatively what you need to charge or what you need to whatever for the other spaces. Okay. And then if you're wanting to expand that distribution, you can click on that. And then that just pretty much states that you can put it on other distribution sites as well. Just keep in mind that, it is a rate of what you're going to earn. So they're going to take off the cost of printing. They're going to take off what the other people are going to want as, to eat off of your book. And then that's what you're going to receive is the remaining of that. Okay. Once you are completed with all of these things, you're going to come down here and it's going to tell you that it can take up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase on Amazon. And so usually we'll just get an email that's like, hey, book's on the store, it is ready to go, and it'll have a link. Don't be alarmed if when you start searching, you're not pulling things up. It's your first time. Sometimes you got to get, that SEO got to get together a little bit. But they will provide a link for you to use. And they kind of warn you too that like, hey, it may take a couple of days before you start seeing some stuff. And so don't be alarmed if you go to search and your book doesn't automatically come up. That's common when you first upload a book. And then it gives you the option to request a proof copy. If you do request a proof copy, big thing I want you to take away is that like you'll get something like, let's say we did thoughts of suicide. It'll have like a little line across here and it'll say like not for resale. So I'm telling you that because I don't want you thinking, oh, I'm about to go ham and order 10 copies and start going. No, because it's gonna interrupt your book cover and it's gonna say, oh yeah, baby, by the way, this is not for resale. So just wanting to make sure that you have that understanding before you do all of that. Okay. So once you hit publish your paperback book, you're going to get a little box that's going to say, okay, boom, great, we've received it. It can take up to 72 hours. Okay. Which is just a really cool space to be because, you know what I'm saying? Like technically you're going to be a published author. So that's really exciting. And so once that 72 hours has expired, baby, you're a published author and that's it. Literally, that is it. That's all she wrote. So now that you're here, we're here, you probably either hit save and continue and publish that. So congratulations to you, kudos to you. If you started getting all of this information that I was giving you and you're like, wait, hold on, I do want my book in a bookstore. Hold on, wait, my long-term goal is to do this. I do want to apply for certain awards and prizes. So I don't want to actually just be listed as a self-published author. If you came down here and you like, I didn't hit publish, or I didn't hit publish now, but I'm still ready to do this, let me know. Reach out. Okay. I did put this information here for you. If you need help getting press, baby, that is what we do. Definitely reach out, let us know. We do boutique press, meaning that if you're just like certain publications, you know, you don't necessarily have to pay us to be your PR in order to use us for PR services. And then once your book is on the Amazon store, baby, please email wecare@LexxiKhanPresents.com so we can celebrate you. Okay. If you've gotten this far and you're like, you know what, I need a little bit more help than I initially realized, still use that wecare@LexxiKhanPresents.com, but just put in your subject line, need more help. And we know that you're wanting some additional assistance to complete this manuscript, and we can do what we need to do because we do offer discounts for those one-on-one calls, especially if you've booked a service like this. So I'll be sure to include that somewhere where you guys are looking, that you do have that option to book one of those discounted services. Definitely and highly want to encourage you to do that so that you have everything that you need in order to be successful moving forward. Now, I've stressed this, and I think I said this in the beginning, publishing is just the first part. Really, it is a lot of work, but the hard work is really going to come in getting your story out there. Once you publish your book, there are millions. I think the last time I looked, 45 million books on Amazon. If you're wanting to stand out amongst those people, you're going to want to continue to play around with those keywords. Keywords are really vital for your success. Okay. And that's really what's going to help you. So I definitely highly want to encourage you to just play around with those keywords. I want to highly encourage you to do something that most people probably don't consider, right? Most people think, I'm published on Amazon, let me go tell all of my friends, family, colleagues, and get them to purchase it. I like to tell people that while that is exciting, definitely encourage people around you to support you. You want to be careful, okay? Because baby, your grandma, her Amazon store might be different than your homegirl's Amazon store. And you want to know what's going to end up happening is if grandma go support you and she buys this book, and this book is so different than the rest of her history, it's going to bunch you up with people that like, oh, people who purchased this book also have purchased XYZ. Do you want to be bundled up with whatever else they're purchasing? That's what I like to tell my clients. So when you're out here and you're going to support, don't feel like you need to go hunt down your family and friends and say, go buy my book right now. Don't do that. As a matter of fact, the people that ain't rocking with you and just buying your book off of the strength of your social media posts are probably sincerely doing you a favor. Okay. Trust me, because I had a client learn the hard way. So she published the book, and man, pretty much similar situation. Her grandma only reads, you know, godly scriptures, devotionals. That's all her grandma reads. But purchased her urban fiction book to support her granddaughter. What do you think happened? Okay. When it started promoting and started recognizing, similarly, people like this, you are outside of your target audience and who you're trying to reach. So when you're trying to be in people's faces, encouraging them to support you, to buy your book, to, you know, be there to help out, just know that, like I said, that can hurt more than you think it's actually going to help. So those are just some key things that I really want you to just take advantage of and to be mindful of, and to know that just publishing on Amazon is not enough. You got work to do now. You got to make sure that the press knows about your story. They're going to be the ones to help you get in front of your target audience. They're going to be the ones that's going to help you with generating those sales. Do not be discouraged if you do not see a ton of sales in the beginning. You're a first-time author. I actually did not start seeing a lot of success until I hit about my third book, because then my audience started to take me serious as an author. So don't be discouraged. You know, Don't be alarmed if there's days between sales. That just means that you need to take a moment to self-reflect and say, well, what am I doing that I'm not talking to my target audience? How can I talk to them better? How can I get in their spaces? All that fun stuff. How can I get in front of them more frequently and more often? So I definitely highly want to encourage you to do that. I also highly want to encourage you to join a community of people that are committed to seeing you succeed. So we do have our authors lounge, and we do have different programs. So that's always something that you're able to do as well. I'm just going to pull that up here and show you in case you decide that this is something in which that you actually considering. So we do offer author coaching. And so with our author coaching, it allows you to choose from one of these packages. And depending on the package you choose, just depends on the level of care that you get. So if you go with the silver author coaching package, and this is good, like you're already published. So this is perfect for if you're like, hey, I didn't hit publish. I need a little bit more assistance. Not sure if I want to do a one-on-one. You do have these options as well. So you could do the $27 option that gives you access to a lot of our training materials. Okay. And that is something that you can take advantage of. We also do one group webinar a month where I allow you to just kind of join in there, ask any questions. You'll get access to some other trainings and materials, and you also get discounts on future services. Also, when you are in this package or in one of these programs, we also give you one-on-one calls at 60% off. So if you're like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to do a one-on-one call, just hop in one of these, subscriptions, and that's something that we can do. So the $47 a month, that gives you a little bit more, because the biggest thing besides your daily motivational texts that I wanted to highlight, you get your own dedicated concierge. I know it's like a steal, only $47 a month, and you have someone that you can reach out to one-on-one to just say, hey, I have a question about this. Absolutely. Okay. And your concierge is going to be there to get those, to point you in the direction of where you can get the information you're looking for. And if you're not playing around with these people, go ahead and do the $97 a month. That's going to give you everything in these other packages. It's also going to give you a 15-minute check-in with me per month. So what does that mean? I just hop on a little call. Maybe I just need to speak some life to you. Maybe you've got a specific question that you're needing answered. Another thing that's actually not here is that I'm going to put you in a group coaching. I'm going to put you in a group text with me. So you're going to have your concierge, but you're also going to be in a group text with me where I'll be able to, at the end of the day, just wrap up and answer some of those like common questions that are going in there. I do voice notes, all that other fun, good stuff to keep you guys motivated and encouraged. So you're not alone in getting this done. Okay. You've done most of the work, which is, good for you, proud of you. You know what I'm saying? You did what you were supposed to do. Now put in the work. Okay. Make sure people know about your book. Make sure people know about your story. And if you're struggling to do it alone, let us know. That's what we're here for.